Welcome to Trading Lounge and the gold and silver report for Monday the 11th of January. What I will try to do is this is not a promise, I will try to do the gold and the silver video on Monday, Wednesday and Friday. I'll do my best. It won't always be the case, but that's what I'll aim for, okay? So with silver here, we'd been looking at 5 waves up for wave 1 and 2 and 3 here, and wave 4, and then looking up for wave 5 here. Now it does appear that this move up here is 5 waves, so we can look at it as wave 1 and back for wave 2 and 3 and 4 and 5, moving in here before we see a correction on that space, before we see further upside on that. So with that, let's just go into the daily chart and just work through that. So wave 3 over here, and then an A and a B and a C here for wave 4. I just want to put my trading level back in here. Still learning about this new platform. Don't need that. So yeah, look, wave 3 here, an A and a B and a C here for wave 4, and then 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and 5 here for wave 1, back for wave 2 at 61.8% mark, and then moving up for 3, 4, 5. Now it's possible that this could get uglier and put wave 4 over here, and then we would need to look at this here as some sort of A wave to here, then an A and a B and a C wave to here, and then down for one more leg here for that. But let's just, before we get into all of that, let's just see if this 61.8% here holds, or more importantly, the medium level here. Medium level's just always halfway between two major levels, so the $25 mark in this is saying 2,500 because it's a CFD product, but still numbers are the same. So the 25 here is a medium level. Let's see if the market sticks to that and we can get a trade set up off that to go long again. But yeah, it's possible that wave 4 could get bigger and ugly, but I have to say it's already big and ugly here for this, and wave 2s normally pull back sharply, so it's done its job. Obviously this move being so sharp here is a bit of a psychological operation from the people manipulating the gold and silver market. As you know, as Morgan's been fined $1 billion, but they made it back in a week. All that sort of stuff. Let's cruise into the 4-hour chart here. So this is what I'm thinking, and I'm showing silver first. Gold's got the same pattern as well, but silver's just a little bit more elegant in its impulse wave structure to the upside for this market. So 5 waves up, pull back to the 61.8% mark. It's a little bit hard to decipher all this here. I'll spend a bit more time on it, but we'll have a crack at that, have a look at that. And what I'm kind of waiting here for really is, we'll look at this on the intraday, but this move up through here and then pulling back to the 61.8% here, then we can use that top to go long on at that point. Okay, so that's what I'm sort of thinking. So I don't know what I've updated on this market, so I think I'll just go straight through to the tick chart if that's okay. So we'll need to bring in more data here. So yeah, I don't need to go back any further than that. So we've got wave 1 up here. I'm looking for an A wave, a B wave and a C wave back down here. So what I was sort of thinking, I haven't actually counted all this things in here, but I'm just assuming that we may get some sort of ABC pattern coming back into, well, the $25 mark, sorry, and then a move up from that point. So I was sort of thinking like an ABC point at that time, at that stage, but going long above this point here. Now let's just say this market moves up here a little bit and then drops back down. Okay, so then what we could do is we could copy that line and put that wherever that may be. Okay, so that may be higher up through here, wherever, but that will be the second high at that point. Now, if this comes back as an ABC pattern, you could also do the same again here. If I can just point this out a little bit. So let's just say that it comes down to the $25 mark, and then what you'll see is you may see in you may see it in a smaller version than this, but if you can see 5 waves up again, right, then you can move in on that there as well. So I'll just copy that, bring that back down at that point. So you could get a better entry at that point. I'm just assuming that this is 5 waves to this move up through here, but I haven't pulled it apart here. Kind of looks okay. Yeah, let's just see if this correction gets a little bit bigger here at that point. But yeah, anyway, that's it. So let's just go back and recap this on the 4-hour chart. So now you understand that a little bit better. It does appear that that move up there is impulsive. Let's just hope that it pulls back into that space here before moving up. And there's a couple of different ways you could move in there. It's not to say this market can't come down further, but if it did come down, it would have to be 1 and 2 and 3 here, 4 here, and then down for 5 at that point. So taking that low out here. So that's what we don't want to see. We don't want to see that 5th wave come into play here. After that, though, there will be an ABC pattern moving back up into that space before we see another 5 waves down at that point, which will bring us way back down through here. So I'll just stay with this because of this impulse wave here, and that wave 4 is big enough, and wave 4 is already pulled back to where it should be at anyway. So there's a good case for wave 4, there's a good case for wave 1, a reasonable case for wave 2 here. We just need to see it build at this particular point. Also, as I mentioned, I will try to do these videos on Monday, Wednesday and Friday, but I'm not promising that, but we'll see how I travel. Okay, let's have a look at gold. Spot gold. Okay, so much the same story here. This is the weekly chart here, and we've been looking at this as wave 3. If I've made a mistake, then this wave 3 here needs to be up here, but it still leaves us with wave 4 here. In this case here, we're also doing the same. We're looking for wave 4 being in play, and we're looking for 5 waves to the upside here for wave 5 of 5 in that place. So in a nutshell, we're looking for the classic trading levels pattern across the 2000 area here, and this is the classic trading levels pattern where we have this is the 2000 line across here. So this is the most common pattern where we have the arrival, the reaction, which we've got, and now we're thinking from this point here, which is normally wave 3 and 4 here, by the way, and wave 5 up here, then the ABC correction. But just understanding it, because sometimes it's difficult to see it as in Elliott terms, but the arrival, the reaction, the first high above the level, but we'll be looking for 5 waves in here. So currently we're looking that we've got wave 1 and 2 here, and we'll look up for 3 and 4 and then 5 up through there. That's what we're looking at that point. And yeah, so that's it really. Let's go in and have a closer look at all of this. So on the 1-day chart, which is this one, considering this wave 4 here. Now the wave 5 up here is not the best looking set of legs I've ever seen, but it still works okay, and that's why I showed silver first, because it's a little bit cleaner. But once again, we have moved up to the 61.8% mark here from that top to that there, and then we've also moved back down, well, just below the 61.8%, but that's okay as well here. So if this is correct, we look at 1 and 2 here and 3, 4, 5. So we've had that shakeout there, and it's rattled everybody, just what the big players want, and then they will start, once all the stops have been, once they've squeezed everybody out, they will be moving back in. So let's be prepared for that. In this case here, we can be working on the 1850 area here. Nice number to work with. But let's go in and have a look at this 4-hour chart. So I'm in Australia, and I was watching a guy from Australia chat the other day, and he was saying that the importance of owning physical gold rather than owning it in these ETFs, because these ETFs are just really, even though they're connected to the gold market, it's not like you may not be able to transfer your ETF gold contract into actually physical gold. And even if you could do that, there's just not enough supply of gold to give you your gold from an ETF. So these GDXs and so on. If you think that you're owning physical gold in that sense, then think again. Look, there's just not even the supply. There was New York phoning around Australia looking for 40 tons of gold to fulfill the futures contracts that are coming up, and all they could get was 5 ton. Australia's only got 80 ton of gold anyway these days, and a big chunk of that is leased out to the Perth Mint. So even their the Perth Mint supplies gold to America a lot, but even they're refiners basically. They buy and then sell, but they've gone into the leasing business, so it means that the Perth Mint are dealing in paper now as well. So the supply is and there'll come a time when people have a rush on claiming their gold, and they won't be able to get it. Now that's when the price will push up. When that occurs, I don't know, but that will be the trigger for it. Anyway. So from wave 3 up here down to wave 4 here, as wave 1 into this point here, wave 2 over to here, wave 3 onto this top, wave 4 over to here, and 5 waves up for wave 5 of 1, an A and a B and a C back for wave 2. And then we're looking for a move higher into wave 3 here that will build. So we're looking for a building pattern off the low. At the same time, obviously it's bearish, and as I mentioned before, it's possible that this wave 4 is still going on and we could end up lower here, but I just don't think it's the case, but we'll see. We'd need 5 waves down first, so we'd need to see 1 and 2 and 3 here, an A and a B and a C here for wave 4, and then down for wave 5 here. If that's the case, if we get 5 waves here, that would be, maybe that's the low at that point. Maybe that's that wave C low at that point. It's something that we could look at as well. We'll just see how this plays out. I'll keep an eye on it. I've got gold stock myself. So, yeah, it's possible that this can play out like that, but we'll see. Let's just drill in here further on the 1 hour chart. So this is how I was looking at it here as an A wave, a B wave, and a C wave. It's definitely got possibilities of being a wave 3 here. As a wave 4, we would see it move back up into the 38.2% retracement level. So we would see an A wave, a B wave, and a C wave moving to here, and then moving down. So that's the catch-22, and then we would have to pick it up from the 1800 area and rework the trend up from that point. But otherwise, let's keep moving into this space here. I think I've got it on the 15-minute chart. No, I have to go to the tick chart. So with wave 1 up the top here, and then the A wave, the B wave, and then counting 5 waves down through to here. So I'm thinking that we've got wave 1 here, just assuming that, and copying that, and wave 2 coming back into this space here. We can work this level here. That's quite a nice, I mean, as an impulse wave, I haven't counted it, but it looks okay. It looks okay to me. We just need to see it looks corrective down to that point there too, so it may just keep building. I can see there's 1, 2, 3 here and 4 here. That's 5 here, unless that's a 5th wave moving up. No, that's got to be it here. So 1 and 2 here, then 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and 5, 3rd wave, 4th wave here, then 1 and 2. There's a bit of a thing here, maybe 1 and 2, 3, 4 and 5. I think I'm pretty close. Obviously we don't want to see it, we want to see it pull back further from this point. Which it looks like it can do. This looks like an A wave, a B wave, and then 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and 5 for the C wave, pulling back into that 50-60% range there. So, I mean, technically you could go long above that. But no, it looks like she's coming down, which is good. So that means that we can look at this space here. But this length here may just produce much the same length as this one here. So yeah, anywhere in that space. But we should be looking at 5 waves. So what you could do is you could look at this as 1 and 2 here, and then the 3rd wave coming down, and the 3rd wave will move pretty quickly. So 1 and 2 here, and 3, 4, 5. So maybe around the 1882, 1883 area. So that basically what it means though is that I'll leave you to work out the better position, to work out how to get in down here, but it does mean that we can go long above here now for that. I'll just draw this out. So that's 1 and 2, that's 1 and 2, probably, anyway, that should move quite quickly, and there'll be a 4 and a 5 here. So what you need to, before you can go long, you really need to identify a impulse wave coming into play here, and then coming off the top here for that. Or unless you can work the ABC pattern in that place, in that way you can get that there as well. Okay, so let's just recap this a little bit. So it's possible 5 waves can come down, but otherwise we're thinking of being long above this top here for that. So I think I might just go to the 1 hour chart here for that. Oh yeah, got that, it's better. And we also want to build in on top of 72 here and 65. So this is all of group 2 here. So 65, 72 and 80 here. So we can put in 65. So that's all of group 2 there. So we want to be long again on top of 72 at that point. So this can be a bit of a trap here, so just be a little bit careful about that. And if we do get 5 waves down, well then we'll look to build from that point. Where will that leave us on the 4 hour chart? Let me just check. We'd have to be careful because the other side of the coin here, if something went really wrong, then the ABC pattern would be here and then would be further down at that point. But this wave 4 could be sitting at the same thing over here, so that would be also fine as well. But let's just see how this goes at this stage. Let's see if we can, if this is correct. Okay, that's it. Thanks for tuning in. Cheers.